How do you keep going when you don't feel like it? Motivation can feel impossible to hold on to when everything starts piling up. Studies, work, exercising, social life. A little under 3 months ago, I found myself stuck in this exhausting loop. I kept waiting for that surge of motivation to hit, and when it didn't, the frustration set in. I couldn't stop comparing myself to the version of me who was on top of things, who had everything together. It stung, especially because this channel is all about growth and success, not living up to my own expectations. That felt like a serious blow to my ego. One evening, after hours of getting nothing done, I had a moment of clarity. I knew something had to shift, so I began thinking about habits and routines that could keep me on track even when I didn't feel like it. And honestly, that decision, it changed everything. If you don't figure out how to gather yourself and stand up and fight when life feels too challenging, you'll keep spinning your wheels, never making real progress. But if you build the right system, you'll find yourself achieving more even when the difficult times come. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the same process that's worked for me so you can try it out too. I'll share how I break down tasks, manage my energy, shift my mindset, and stay flexible so I can keep moving forward. Let's start. Once I realized that waiting for motivation to spontaneously hit wasn't gonna work, routines came in. Motivation can kickstart your journey, but it's the routine that keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. And that was the problem. I was in the middle of a serious life change and lacked the momentum. So instead of waiting for that perfect burst of energy, I tried to set up an automatic system that did the hard work of getting started for me. If you don't set up routines that support your goals, you'll end up in a cycle of starting and stopping, never really gaining momentum. It's exhausting and demoralizing, but with the right routine, you'll find yourself making progress that adds up over time way more than waiting for motivation ever will. I built routines around my key responsibilities. Morning routine was really simple, consisting of skincare, relaxing cup of coffee, meditation, and checking my to-do list for the day. An evening routine included shower, then dinner, then YouTube or studying and reading something before going to sleep. The evening routine was the one that I needed more time to fix because it was usually thrown off by binge eating, watching sports, movies, or scrolling through Instagram. Now that we've covered how to build a solid routine, let's move to another big realization for me. I'm always in charge. Alright, hold on. It sounds obvious, but it took me a while to truly understand what that meant. One of the hardest lessons I've learned is that if you don't take full responsibility for your successes and your failures, then what's the point of even trying? You can blame anything. Your mood, weather, distractions, the time we live at. If I kept blaming external factors, I was giving away all of the control. Once I stopped doing that, that's when things started to change. I finally knew what I needed to do to make progress, take control, and stop believing that I'm not the main factor dictating my results. That sense of purpose and drive, I was enjoying the process, not just the result. When I create videos for this channel, I remind myself that I love the process of learning, improving, and sharing value with you. Now let's move on to something practical you can do when you really don't feel like working. Let's be real. There are always going to be tasks you just don't want it to. For me, sometimes editing my videos feels like a drag. But here's the little trick I use to get myself started. I pair it with something I enjoy. For example, I turn on some music I use for running, and it immediately puts me in a different headspace. That energy gets me into the groove, and before I know it, I'm already working. After about 10 minutes, I'm usually in the zone, and I can turn off the music and keep on editing. The key is getting that momentum going. But sometimes, even with the best tricks to get started, things can feel overwhelming. Ever look at a massive to-do list and feel like there is no way you can tackle it all? That used to be me. It was like I was setting myself up to fail from the start. It left me feeling kind of frustrated and unaccomplished. So I decided to switch things up and go minimalistic. Instead of making an endless list, I limit myself to 3 to 5 tasks per day. I prioritize, simplify, and get more done. The rest, it can wait. This way, I'm not running in circles. Now, some truth bomb after all these tips. Sometimes it doesn't matter how well you plan if you're running on empty. No routine, to-do list, or strategy will be enough to keep you going. At least if you're like me. a regular guy. There were times when I'd go to bed late, skip meals, let stress pile up without doing anything about it, thinking I could power through, and sometimes I did. But what's the point? I'd wake up exhausted, my motivation would be at an all-time low, everything felt like a struggle, and I'd wonder why it was so hard to get anything done. Maybe you've experienced the same thing. Didn't improve until I did something, and that something was fixing my sleep, food, and exercise. Usually these are my non-negotiable. If you don't take care of your energy, you'll end up paying for it later. Right guys, there is one last truth that might not sound as glamorous. It's about learning to embrace discomfort. Here's the thing, growth doesn't happen when you're too comfortable. It's those moments of discomfort that really push you to the next level. I remember a time when I tried to run a half marathon for the second time. It's something I just needed to do to show myself that I still had it in me. And I decided to do it after skipping so many evening jogs you can't even imagine. I had already been up for hours when I was in the middle of my run. My eyes felt heavy, my body was begging for rest, and I kept telling myself, maybe it can wait until, but something clicked in me. I knew that pushing through this discomfort would make all the difference. So I pushed on. Every second felt like a mountain. But as I kept running, something surprising happened. I found a second wind, and suddenly I was in the flow. That feeling of pushing through despite the discomfort gave me a boost of motivation I didn't even know I had. In the end, I did it. If you always run away from discomfort, you're running away from growth. It's through those tough moments that you build resilience, and the next time, it's a little easier to push through, because you know you've already done it. Don't wait for everything to feel perfect. Start today, and if you're watching it late at night, start right now and go to sleep. But before that, subscribe and hit the like button. I truly hope this video is helpful, and definitely have a good day.